right? I think we
Is
pointed
that the
that out.
radon something?
No, this
Oh.
is for, good question though. No, this is in case you wanted to add additional cabling up into,
Oh,
to
okay.
the upstairs. You've got
Yep, it's
you've
a
got
pathway.
pathway to get there. Now remember, if you do so, if you do utilize this, you're gonna use this rope and tie onto that phone line or cable line or whatever to pull that through. It's gonna be a lot easier than trying to push it, okay? But make sure you buy another piece of nylon and tie it onto there so that once you've pulled that rope all the way through, you've got another
You always have your string.
rope,
Yeah.
second string. So your question on the radon? The radon is located right back here.
Oh, okay.
So with the radon, you will need to, I highly recommended that you have it tested.
Oh yeah, the radon
Okay.
testing.
I would do that as soon as you close, shortly thereafter. The biggest thing is that you want to be able to have the house closed, for a 24-hour period of time. I mean, it's okay to leave periodically, out the front door or the garage or whatever the case might be. They just don't want you to have windows open and whatever, because you just won't get an accurate reading.
Right.
So you can do it yourself, send it in to the laboratory companies, and they'll email you the results back and tell you where you're at in the range. But it is highly recommended that you do that, okay? You may be 0, but your neighbors may be 100, vice versa. They may be 0, you may be 100. And it's really hit and miss the way that stuff works,
And what do you do if you're high?
okay? So
Oh.
you're set up for what's called a passive system. So you've got a piece of tubing that runs underneath the foundation. It's just naturally going to just kind of pull that radon, or that radon should work its way to that pipe, and it's going to vent itself up through the roof. Now, if you are at a high range, and they recommend that you have an active system, meaning that there's a motor on there and you're actually physically pulling that radon gas, okay? This pipe continues up through the attic, and in between the second floor ceiling and the actual roof line, there's gonna be a vertical section.
Yeah.
Vertical.
It's right above where the.
I remember
yeah.
talking about this
Right.
briefly
And
last time.
there's a plug right next to it, all right? So then all you would have to do is just cut that pipe. You cut like a 4-inch section of that pipe out, install that motor in there, clamp it together on each end of the existing pipe, plug it in, and you are now an active system. So, what we've eliminated is it's typically about $1,100 on the very low end to, if you didn't have this piping or nothing and you found out you had high radon, you'll see a lot of times you'll see these guys with pipes running up the exterior of the house.
Mm-hmm.
You've seen that before with the motor set there. It's about $1,100 on the cheap end to have that done. By doing this, we took about $1,000 off of that, so then all it is the cost of a $100 motor. If you want to pay somebody to do it, you can, so then there'd be a little bit additional
Right.
cost. But
Or just cut it out and
Or
put
just
it
cut
in
it
yourself.
and-
Yeah. Plug it in. You're good.
Um,
Cool.